Hi everybody, I'm Michelle Fitzgerald with the Sensor Learning Center, and today I want to talk with you a little bit about water and your future. In about 4 months, I'm going to be hosting an event in Sedona, Arizona called the Sedona Gathering, and the theme this year of the gathering, it's a 3-day, you could consider it intensive training event. Lots of fun too, but an intensive training event. The theme this year is called the Spirit of Water, and everything we're going to be focusing on has to do with water. Why did I choose this particular topic this year? The reason is that issues with water, big problems with water, have become just gigantic on our planet. They're growing exponentially. And we all really need to be paying closer attention to what's happening with water on our planet today, and also taking as individuals as many steps as we can to try to help resolve these issues with water. So the event's going to be focused on teaching you things you can do to help with this mounting problem. Now, when I say mounting problem, I want to just give you start by giving you a few statistics. There are many organizations that study water availability on the planet and water conditions on the planet, and all the organizations, the biggies today, are saying that they're predicting that by the year 2025, which is only 9 years from now, 2/3 of the global human population will be living under high stress or under stressful water conditions. They'll be actually experiencing noticeable stress conditions regarding water in their areas. This means drinking water issues, water for agriculture issues, etc. By 2030, which is only 5 years later, they predict that almost half of the global population will be living in under high stress water conditions. Now, this is incredible. I know I personally today am not having, I know we're having in the Sedona area, we've been in drought conditions for some time now, but I, as an individual, I'm not suffering from water deprivation. I have plenty of drinking water, I have plenty of water, access to water, to water my plants. And so, and many of you, or if not all of you that are watching this, are probably in the same situation. Water is almost an afterthought for us because we have easy access to it. But I guarantee you, when 2/3 of the global population are dealing with water issues, that water problems, when that much of the human population is suffering from water problems, it's going to affect all of us. Flat out, it is going to affect everyone on this planet. And even to the point the water situation is getting so extreme that even access for you and me to affordable and accessible drinking water, and water, for our plants and things like that, or if you're doing any form of, gardening or agriculture, reasonably affordable access to water to do that type of thing is going to become increasingly difficult. So one of the things we're going to do at the Sedona Gathering this year, and it's kind of, I think, in dowsing circles, my observation of it over the decades in dowsing circles has been that doing dowsing for something as simple as finding underground water for the purpose of siting a water well that has potable, meaning drinkable water in it, and it's fairly easy or reasonably easy to access that water. Has over the decades kind of that even though there's a small focus on it at things like dowsing conferences and things like that, it's really in a minority from a standpoint of people who are focusing on this. If you ask in your circles, if you know any dowsers, and you ask around, who really is a proficient water dowser, you're going to be hard pressed to find 2 or 3 really great water dowsers in your dowsing community. Everybody's focusing on things like dowsing for health and dowsing to find dowsing past life. I do this, dowsing for past life information, dowsing to clear emotional issues, all this kind of stuff. But we really, with what's happening with water, we among all the people, really among the people on the planet, we are in a position to really be helpful as the water situation increases on this planet, because we can douse, or we can learn. You can learn. If you don't know how to douse, you can learn how to douse very easily. And we're going to do this at the Sedona gathering, we're going to teach you how to specifically douse for water, so that as situations develop, it's probably not a problem for you right now, but you will be capable of helping people find water or helping you find water if you need to do that. Very, very important, and you don't want to wait till the 11th hour to be doing this. We're almost at the 11th hour. Second thing we're going to focus on at the gathering is a problem that has been a problem for quite a long time. I mean, I've been aware of the problem for at least 2 decades. But in the last 10 years, this problem has really mushroomed, and that is the number of times I find underground water streams that will be running under living space, might be running through someone's backyard, that has frequencies on it, that has subtle energy imprints on it, that are really, really harmful. Now, this has been common knowledge in dowsing circles for a long time, knowing that underground water can carry, well, dowsers will always tell you don't ever sleep above underground water. I've always held the theory that it's really not the water itself that is problematic. It does create an ionization effect above, in the atmosphere above where the water is flowing that can be somewhat negative. But I think the reason it's so harmful to have underground water running under the house is that water is so darn conductive, and it can very, very easily pick up imprints of subtle energy stuff, everything from the energetic fields, subtle energy fields of electromagnetic frequencies to psychic energies is a big deal that gets imprinted on water. You could have someone living a mile or 2 miles or even 5 miles away from you, and an underground water stream, maybe there's domestic violence in the home, lots and lots of negative emotional energy. Amazingly but true, that energy can actually get imprinted on the underground water that travels under that house, and then it wiggles its way eventually to your neighborhood, travels under your house, and it becomes a highly, highly toxic situation. It can affect your finances, it can affect your health. For many, 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 many decades. I mean, I've read books that were written 40 years ago, 50 years ago, where researchers, including doctors that knew how to douse, were finding this incredible correlation between underground water, unhealthy underground water, whether it's got physical or psychic energies on it, and the incidence of cancer. Now, I don't know if you've looked recently at the cancer statistics globally or the autoimmune disease statistics globally, but these things are off the charts. They're not getting better, they're getting worse. And so if you want to keep yourself healthy, it would behoove you, because this is on the rise, just because there are so many additional sources that can put these imprints onto the water today. This is on the rise. If you're interested in keeping yourself healthy, it would benefit you greatly to know how to periodically monitor for underground water under your home and the status of that water. Learning how to do things like moving the water so it's not traveling right under your house, or balancing the energies that are on the water. You're going to learn how to do that. There are ways to do that. And you say, move the water? That seems extreme. Is that even possible? It's absolutely possible. I've done it many times, and I can teach you how to do it. I've balanced many, many, many noxious energy streams where there's psychic energy or some other type of unbeneficial, unhealthy, subtle energy, and by the proper placement of things like stones or elements, different things like that, you can actually correct the situation so the water isn't harmful or isn't as nearly as harmful as it was to you or maybe trees on your property. Now, all of this loops us into another topic that we're going to be focusing on in the gathering, and that is learning how to connect with the spirit of water. Water is an intelligent being, a loving, intelligent being, and you can actually make friends with water. You can actually commune and communicate with water, and that becomes very handy when you're trying to do things like move water, because it's very easy to do that if you can get the spirit of water to help you do it. So you'll be learning things like that. Another hot topic that we're going to be focusing on, and there are many more topics than what I'm describing here, but these are the key biggies that we're going to focus on, is trees, water and trees. One of the things that's affecting the global water crisis, that's playing a role in the global water crisis and will continue to play a role in the developing problem, is deforestation. The loss of trees due to man-made efforts and also due to natural events that are occurring. It's not just human stuff that's causing the tree decimation, you could say. But the trees are vitally important to our fresh water supplies. The trees play an incredible role in the water cycle. And when it rains, they're little teeny little roots, those capillary roots, they grab the water, they make sure that water gets into the groundwater supply. Then later the water comes up through the tree trunks and it evaporates off the leaves, and it helps create the situation for rain to, everything to occur again in the atmosphere, and rain falls, and it's this giant thing called the water cycle. Well, trees, being able to communicate with trees, which is another thing we're going to focus on, can be very helpful in assisting this whole cycle. The other thing is that there's problems occurring with trees, one of which is something called corrupted water. In addition to all the other things that are affecting trees, there's a subtle energy problem affecting water, and it's getting worse. I call it corrupted water, and when a tree gets infected with it, this subtle energy frequency, in essence, it loses consciousness, and it ultimately, I can't get into great depth on why this happens, but it ultimately causes the tree to lose unconsciousness, or to go unconscious, and it can kill the tree, even in pristine climate conditions, which we don't have. So these are some of the key topics that we're going to be focusing on. They're practical topics that can help you stay healthy, can help you down the road here, help ensure that you're going to have drinkable water and water for, growing things if you want to continue growing things and things like that. It's going to help set the stage for you to become a helpful person down the road. As so many people begin to have problems with water, you'll be in a much better position to lend a helping hand. That's what this event is all about. So it's hugely important at this time, and I encourage you to put this on your slate for this year, to attend the Sedona Gathering in November. You'll have fun. In addition to a lot of great training, you're going to have a great time, because like-minded people will be there. It's just a wonderful time. But most importantly, it's something that we really need to be focusing on. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye. I hope to see you in November. Bye for now.